Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saginaw City Hall and to this special press conference to welcome the visiting delegates from Barrie, Ontario, and officially establish our sister city. I'm going off the script now. Y'all know I don't do that script good. It is our pleasure and our joy to become sister cities with you guys. It is just a new birth with Saginaw, and I hope that it's a new birth with Barrie as well. I would like to welcome the Mayor, Alex Natal, the Deputy Mayor, Robert Thompson. I would like to welcome you to our city. It is now your city. In the back, I pinned everybody. You are now officially Saginaw also. I'd also like to acknowledge my city manager, Tim Morales, along with my cohorts in crime, City Council, Councilwoman Lamar Sylvia, and Councilman Ostash, and any other city staff that's in here today. You're now family, Barrie. Once we sign this contract, there's no turning back. There's no turning back. You will now be a Saginaw. You will be a Michigander, okay? At this time, I'm so thrilled that we are going to develop this relationship. Saginaw is on the upscale, and we are moving in a new direction. What people don't understand, what I said to everybody some 4 years ago, it's a new season, it's a new day. Fresh anointing has come our way. We all have been walking into the bath of the glory of the new things that are coming with our city. And becoming sister cities with you guys just takes it over the top. We're over the top now. So at this time, I'd like to introduce the mayor of Barrie.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor Moore, for the incredible welcome we've had here today, and Councillor Harris and Mark and others over the last 24 hours. I must admit, there's a little bit of jealousy going on right now, okay? So I'm not hating, but I wish I was able to come down and see our Barrie Colts play in the Memorial Cup, but it didn't work out that way this year, and we certainly wish you all the best in that endeavor in your next game, and hopefully that leads you to Sunday, and we'll be rooting for you. We have a team in the game now, and it's our sister team here in the city of Saginaw. I can tell by the vibrancy. You're talking about a new season, new hope, and I really appreciate that and want to second that with you. You know, for the city of Barrie, we are a city just north of Toronto, Ontario. We have certainly had times that have been up, times that have been down, but we've seen a lot of strong economic development over the last number of years. And when we heard that message of hope, of a change in economic fortune coming for Saginaw, it was something that we had to jump on. Our Premier, your Governor, signed an agreement, a trade agreement, just over a year ago, I believe, Mr. Provost, July, and just under a year ago then. And when we were approached by Mr. Provost on behalf of the Ontario government to find a partner here, we had the opportunity to look at a number of different places, and Saginaw is the one that stood out because of the future that you've already charted it on. And so we just want to say thank you for partnering with the City of Barrie. We want to say thank you to your council for believing in the potential of this relationship. It's one that's mirrored on the federal level between our federal governments, the provincial level, and the state level between our provincial and state governments, and now on the municipal level with the signing here of our sister city today. I think historically for the City of Barrie, our sister cities have been really focused on cultural engagement, and sure, that's going to be part of this as well, especially when it comes to hockey, Mayor. But I think as important as that is to find those economic relationships that exist, the opportunities for all of our people to be able to find, success and prosperity. And so we really do look forward to working with you and Tim and the entire team here to identify those opportunities and turn them into economic expansion. Finally, I do want to thank our team. We have Deputy Mayor Robert Thompson. We have members of our International Relations Committee. We have Kevin Weaver, the president of Georgian College, which is both in the city of Barrie and we'll call it the surrounding area. It goes much further than that, doesn't it, Kevin? But and the surrounding area. We have Mark, who's the chair of our International Relations. Wayne Hay, honorary colonel with the Royal Canadian Air Force, as well as a member of our International Relations Committee. And Councillor Harris, I forgot you. And so thank you to, and Mr. Jones, and thank you to all of you for taking the time today to come here to sign. But more than that, the signature is a signal of what's to come. And so there's a lot more hard work that will be happening. And it's actually you folks that are going to make that happen. The relationships between Georgian College and universities and colleges down here, the work that's done by our International Relations Committee on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, working with your team. And so I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. And really going forward, I look forward to spending more time here, getting to know you more and more, and hopefully you'll come up to Barrie and you'll be just as welcome as we felt here today. Maybe if the Spirit are playing the Colts, we can have you there, but we're not giving you a horn. I heard you are very loud with the horn. No horn if you're coming to Barrie, okay? We'll make sure it gets stopped at the border. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Earl Provost and really thank Earl for all the work and effort and time you've put into this as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall and Mayor Morrow. I'm very grateful to be here today and very grateful for this sister city agreement. So as Mayor Nuttall had mentioned, last July, the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, and Ontario's Governor, Michigan's Governor, Gretchen Whitmer, signed the Ontario-Michigan Economic MOU. So it's an aspirational document, not legally binding, but it creates a framework for the relationship and a structure on how to move forward. You know, we are Michigan's #1 trading partner. It's $62 billion a year in two-way trade, and that's in U.S. dollars. So that's, I think, like $4 trillion in Canadian dollars. And 2/3 of that is Michigan selling to Ontario. Ontario selling to Michigan, sorry. And and it's not all automotive. You know, there's a lot. It's a deep economic relationship between Ontario and Michigan, and there's a lot of opportunity to deepen that relationship. And so with the MOU that was signed last year, we wanted to pursue multiple partnerships with post-secondary educations and cities. So when I talked to Mayor Nuttall last year about pursuing a relationship with Saginaw and then with staff in the city of Barrie, I was thrilled and really happy that you were able to work this out and create this sister city agreement between Barrie and Saginaw. You know, Ontario's Premier Doug Ford has said to me on many occasions in far more colorful language than I'm going to share now that things get done when people know each other. So as we deepen these relationships, the economic opportunity is going to follow. You know, you raise that level of familiarity, people get to work together, and they're more comfortable having blunt conversations and just sharing ideas. So this sister city agreement greatly enhances the Ontario-Michigan agenda. You know, Saginaw as a city is very important for Ontario, but the region, Saginaw region is very important for Ontario, which is why I spend a lot of time here, which is why I've got to know John Kaczynski very well, and John has been a big proponent in pushing this Ontario-Michigan agenda forward and building relationships with Ontario stakeholders. So I'm very grateful for the enthusiasm and energy, and that's what's exciting about this, because once it's done, then the relationships get built, the conversations begin, the discussions begin. People go to Barrie, Barrie people come here. You know, we all become Toronto Maple Leaf fans. It's a great opportunity. Well, let's not laugh too enthusiastically about that. But I am very grateful for this, for the enthusiasm, the energy, and I see great things happening as we move forward. And I can tell you that the Premier of Ontario is really, really happy about this, and he's not giving me any credit for it. So, I know, thank you very much for this, and thanks for the invitation today.
So, good morning. It is with great pleasure that myself and the City of Barrie's International Relations Committee visit Saginaw, Michigan to enter in this sister city agreement. And first of all, I want to thank our members who are here. Deputy Mayor Thompson, thank you. Mark Satchke, who's been a co-chair of this committee for many years and has a great deal of history, so you'll get to learn a lot from Mr. Satchke as this relationship evolves. Jimmy Massey, I don't see if Jamie's here. Wayne Hayes here. Colin Hassey and Al Jones, thank you for the commitment you've made to this effort. It's wonderfully appreciated. And our new economic goals, we're really excited to have you as part of this committee to help us move that forward. And also thank you to the Georgian College, Lisa Daniels, Mr. Weaver, trying to find you in the audience. But there you are, right in front of me. Thank you. It's great to have Georgian. And even last night at the game, like seeing the excitement from Saginaw Valley State University about meeting you and connecting with Georgian College was really great. And I think there's so many opportunities for young people and education to exchange. So very excited about that. And just a little history. In 2023, many of us are new members to this committee from the Barrie delegation. And we were given the opportunity to explore a relationship with the city in Michigan and Saginaw particularly. And so our committee, a lot of due diligence. Thank you, Ms. Schlichter, for you and your team, all the work you did, and then the mayor obviously becoming involved. It really got us excited about the economic opportunities that we could really generate through our committee's efforts. So here we are today, about to start that the journey and the relationships building. And again, last night at the Saginaw Spirit Game, they were so close, but everybody's against London, let's be honest, in the OHL. So we were already cheering for Saginaw, even more so now that we're sister cities, or about to be formally sister cities. So, so Barrie has a rich history of fostering these type of relationships and establishing partnership with Saginaw is the first one that we have in North America. So we're really excited about the opportunities that familiarity and also that proximity will allow us as sister city partners. So it's really something like we haven't experienced before. So thank you, Saginaw, for being willing to be partners with Barrie so we can see what it will do for our communities. In closing, our committee continues to coordinate and enhance the City of Barrie's relationships with international communities for the benefit of social, economic, educational, and cultural opportunities for our citizens. So we look forward to doing that with Saginaw. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Mayor Nuttall, Mayor Moore, Deputy Mayor Thompson, Agent General Provo, President Weaver, distinguished guests and friends from Barrie and Saginaw, greetings from Saginaw Valley State University. It's heartfelt and wonderful after all the months of discussion and kind of years of discussion with Earl that we are finally here today. And before we go into official signing, it's nice to kind of revisit the history of why we are here where we are today. And this takes us back to the 1950s when President Dwight D. Eisenhower formed the People-to-People program. And this is coming from, the former commander-in-chief of the European theater, and he saw what war did to Europe, and he saw what war did in Asia, and he says, we can never do that again. And so this program was to develop friendships at the local municipal level, because we know if there are friendships at the local municipal level, that will slowly bubble to the top and we can avoid those global conflicts. And from there, we said, okay, we can also be ambassadors of democracy and capitalism. Here in our region, here in the Great Lakes Bay region, we're made up of Saginaw, Bay City, and Midland. And these relationships started in the 60s, first starting in Bay City. First sister city relationship was with Ansbach, Bavaria. A year later, Frankenmuth, which is just south of Saginaw here, formed with Gunzenhausen, Bavaria. And why did those happen? because we had service members from the region serving in Western Germany that formed relationships with those local municipalities. And both of those sister city relationships are very active today. Soon after that, here in Saginaw, they formed a sister city relationship with Tokushima, Japan. And that came about because a resident here had a relationship back to Japan and wanted to form that relationship, and that relationship is very strong today. But where does the university come into this? So over the next 30 years, 40 years, Saginaw Valley became very heavily involved with Tokushima, Japan, through a relationship with Shikoku University in Tokushima, Japan. And we thought this experience was going so well that just a couple of years ago, I think it was 5 years ago, we began to have the conversation about, well, is there another opportunity for Saginaw to have a relationship with another city, maybe in Ghana? And we had this relationship with Pentecostal University in Ghana. And the folks in Ghana were very interested with wanting to have that relationship here in Saginaw. So they signed a sister city agreement with a monochrome Ghana, and they have had a couple trips going there between Saginaw and a monochrome since then. Through the Ansbach relationship, SVSU has been able to cultivate a relationship with Hochschule Ansbach, which is a polytechnic university that's in Ansbach, Bavaria. And that relationship has blossomed. And Midland, Michigan, they also have a relationship with Handa, Japan, because of Dow's multinational global operations. They have a Dow facility in Handa in here. But why are these so important for us? Why are these so important for us as an institution of higher learning? It's because we send students and faculty to these international destinations, and vice versa, they send people here. So when I started talking about Barrie, Ontario, somebody at the university goes, well, that's like, Columbus, Ohio. Like, that's the distance. And I says, yeah, but we're like two nations. It's like us and Great Britain. We're two nations separated by a language, right? And while we're all part of North America, we're nuanced with our culture and our history and a lot of differences. And the conversation went into, let's think about all the K-12 students now, whether it's in Saginaw or Barrie, that can get on a bus and they can do a day trip and they can meet their friends across the border in Ontario and Michigan. And having those nuanced discussions and building those friendships not only strengthens those ties, but it strengthens the economic ties, it strengthens the social ties, it strengthens tourism ties, and it also maybe strengthens those hockey ties that we were talking about earlier. 2 years ago when I met with Earl Provo, he's the Agent General for Provincial Government of Ontario, he wanted to work tirelessly on these partnerships, and as he mentioned earlier, he got the MOU signed. And he mentioned to me, he says, well, Barrie, Ontario is the place you want to be. Saginaw is going through a renaissance. He says, Barrie went through a renaissance. There's a lot of things that you two can learn from each other. And it sounded like a great scenario to me. And so Stephanie and Nora last year came to Saginaw. They visited Saginaw. We were very happy to be able to show them around Saginaw. When they left, they had big smiles on their faces. They were happy to be here. And I was really excited that they had been able to come because I had mentioned to them just 2 years earlier, my family, we were traveling around Lake Huron, and we were traveling down. We stopped in Barrie, and we went and had lunch there, and we saw your lake. And Mayor, you have the most beautiful city I've been to, and I just love that lake, and we can't wait to come back and tour your city in the future. And so I'll stop talking here and stop babbling, but I want to say that just like in the past relationships, SVSU is here to help cultivate this relationship. We are here to help you get your K-12 students to want to come here. We are here to help our K-12 students want to go to Barrie, build those cultural relationships. And as our president, Dr. Grant, who lived on the east side of Detroit, he says, I guess I'm an international traveler. All those times when I was a kid and I traveled over to Windsor, I just didn't recognize it. And so we want to do the same thing for our kids today, is to be able to make them all international travelers, to be able to go across the border and visit you. So again, many thanks to our friends from Barrie and Saginaw, Mayor Nuttall, Mayor Moore, Deputy Mayor Thompson, Agent General Provo, President Weaver, Stephanie, Tim, Vicki, and the entire team in both cities. Saginaw Valley State University wishes you both good luck, congratulations in your new friendship, and we look forward to supporting your many efforts in the future. Thank you.